So how do we stay balanced in the summer? With perimenopause and menopause, as you know, this can come with a lot of heat-related symptoms. Night sweats, hot flashes, irritability. So there's not just the physical heat-related symptoms, there's the emotional ones as well. The mood swings, the frustration, as I mentioned, irritability. So I just wanted to share a few tips on how I stay cool during the summer. I really noticed a big difference when I learned about Ayurveda's ways of staying cool in the summer. For me, I didn't think much about when I was out in the sun or not. I just was out in the sun. And when I learned that there's certain times a day, which I knew were hotter times a day, but I would still be outside. So for me, I really try and stay out of the sun between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. These are the 4 hours where the sun, as we know, is the highest and it's the hottest. This can do wonders for keeping cool. I try and if I go for a walk or if I want to do some exercise outside, I make sure I do it as early as I can in the morning because I get really hot very quickly. If I exercised in the middle of the day, say around noon, I look like a tomato. Literally, I get so red. And then when I get that feeling of heat in my face, I get frustrated and I get irritable. It doesn't feel good in my body. So this was one simple switch that I made was I just stay out of the sun for those 4 hot hours. Now, if I have to be out in the sun, I make sure I have one of those big summer hats on where the sun isn't even getting near my face. For me, if the sun's on my face, I feel frustrated and irritated. It's like almost instant. Whereas others, it doesn't bother them. Some people have more sensitive skin than others. So I know for me, if my face can stay out of the sun, I'm much happier. I want to make sure also that I'm eating cooling foods in the summer. I didn't even know what cooling foods were. But now that I've learned the qualities of foods that can be hot, cool, dry, oily, heavy, light. There's all these different qualities to foods. And when we use foods with the opposite quality to the season, so summer is hot and dry and humid for some, if we choose cooling foods, it will help us feel cooler. So I'll just list a few foods that are cooling that you can incorporate more into your summer. Cucumbers, they're very cooling. They're crisp and they're cool. Leafy greens, they're very cooling as well. If you're eating greens like kale and chard, it's best to steam them just a little bit to take that kind of raw, hard to digest edge off. Other foods that are cooling, I've got one here. It's not so much a food that you would eat, but it's aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice is extremely cooling to your body. And this is one of the recommendations that I always recommend for anyone who's suffering from hot flashes. There's many reasons and many ways to get rid of hot flashes naturally. This is just one thing you can do. It's very strong, very strong, very strong tasting. But you can start with 1/4 cup on an empty stomach in the morning. If you're having hot flashes at night, you can have also 1/4 cup 30 minutes before bed, so preferably on an empty stomach as well. So this will help cool your body. It's very cooling to the liver. There's another thing that I make sure that I guess making tea out of, mainly, I'm not so much eating it, is fennel seeds. Fennel is also very cooling and it helps to improve your digestion. You can make some fennel tea. It doesn't have to be hot tea. You can have it at room temperature. And again, the fennel is very cooling. Lots of the vegetables, not so much the red ones like the chili and the tomatoes and red peppers, all those are pretty heating to your body. But most vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, beets, carrots, all those vegetables can be quite cooling to your body. So even if you're unsure of like the quality of a food, whether it's heating or cooling, if you're eating vegetables, it's a pretty good guarantee that it's going to be nice and cooling to your body. Now, on the emotional side, There's emotions that we want to try and embrace more in the summer. Well, all year round, really. Who wants to feel angry and frustrated any time of year? But these emotions of frustration, anger, worry, fear, judgment, these are very heating and toxic to your body. I know for me, when I used to have hot flashes years ago, if I felt frustrated or stressed, it would trigger a hot flash. So not only do we want to keep cool in the foods that we're eating and in the activities we're doing by staying out of the hot sun, we want to keep cool emotionally. And if you were to ask me, I think this is even more important than the food. I find emotions can be so heating to your body, and we normalize feeling this way. And one of the quickest ways to come out of one of those frustrated or irritable states is to slow your breath. There's that saying, the quality of your breath reflects the quality of your life. I couldn't agree more. When we're frustrated and stressed, our breathing is very fast. It's very like angry feeling. When we're calm and at ease and at peace with life, our breath slows down. It becomes more nourishing, and your breath can cool your body down. I've had many women learn some breathing techniques in my 6-month program, and they could feel a hot flash starting. They incorporate some slower breathing techniques, and the hot flash never manifests, never shows up. And so the breath really is a great way to stay cool this summer. And of course, I'm going to throw in one of my favorites, and we'll end this video on more of a light note, is I take a freezing cold shower every single day. Winter, summer, spring, or fall. It's just one of the things that I do. Now, I don't get into a freezing shower. I always start with a warm one or a lukewarm one in the summer. But I always just crank that temperature right to as cold as it can get. And now I can stay in there for a few minutes, no problem. I actually love the feeling of that coolness, especially when I get out of the shower. So this is non-negotiable for me in the summer. Every day I'm having a cold shower, and I'm looking for any opportunity to throw myself, jump into a freezing lake, because I find it so invigorating and so healthy and so uplifting. So I encourage you, if you're curious about having cold showers, to just start turning that dial cooler and cooler each day. What I had found for the best technique for me is to do it gradually. In the beginning, there's no way I could have just turned it to freezing cold. I would have screamed and hopped out of the shower. I had to learn to adjust to this cold temperature, but now it's just, here we go. Let's just go freezing right away. So that's fun for me, and every day I look forward to just that feeling of feeling so alive. So try it out. You may love them just as much as I do now.